Stocks slide as FedEx warns of a worldwide slowdown. Stocks fell Wednesday as a decline in FedEx tempered sentiment while traders braced for a key Federal Reserve announcement. The Dow dropped 100 points as Johnson & Johnson lagged. The S&P FedEx shares fell more than 5.5% after CFO Alan Graf warned in the company's quarterly report that slowing. That warning was followed by UBS CEO Sergio Ermotti saying this is one of the worst first-quarter environments ever as investment banking revenue falls about a third from the year earlier period. Meanwhile, these negative comments come as the U.S. Central Bank is widely expected to keep rates steady later in the session, with investors monitoring a decision on the Fed's rate projections for the next few years. Stocks are up more than 12% this year in large part because the Fed said in January it would be patient in raising rates this year. However, meanwhile, renewed uncertainty around U.S.-China trade negotiations also kept investor sentiment in check. Bloomberg News reported some U.S. officials are worried China could walk back on some concessions. However, the world's two largest economies have imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of one another's goods over the past year, battering financial markets and souring business and consumer sentiment. CNBC's Spriha Srivastava and Sam Meredith contributed to this report.
Raindrop, truck top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.